KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
And good morning, everybody.
Good morning, good morning.
Boy,
good
I tell you, great morning. You know, we have a great group in. And, you know, I had to fly all the way back in from Vegas to make this
know,
this
you got
morning.
at midnight last night. So was you a
Absolutely
winner?
nuts.
Come in a winner or you're break even?
You know, I'm probably at a break-even point.
That's
I was
cool.
way up and then figured I might be able to bet a little bit more and got to the break-even point.
Well, you know, Joe is listening in from the beach today, so he's got his feet up on the railing, enjoying a cup of coffee, I'm sure, this morning. And so one of our guest hosts today is one of our great sponsors with OneGuard is Bill Napick. Welcome, Bill, and I know you can do a great job.
And thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You know, Bill, and then you got a special guest, don't you, right now?
Absolutely. I just want to say, too, when I had heard about the opportunity to be here, once again, thank you very much. And I am wearing my Rat Pack garb, and I'm going to tell you, Sam, Frank, and Dean appeared to me in a dream last night, so it must all it must all be right. But I will tell you, I do have a very exciting guest with me today, and I'm going to tell you, it hasn't been since 1964 from across the pond. John, Paul, George, and Ringo, we have the next sensation, and it's about time. From across the pond, we have Miss Lorna Ramsay with Keller Williams Metropolitan here today. And Lorna's going to tell us a little bit about the international market and how she serves the clientele at the Metropolitan.
You know, before she starts, I would love to hear, I love people's story.
Absolutely.
So, Lorna, give me your 30-second to 1 minute elevator, my life story, how I got here and how I got into real estate.
Hi, good morning. Lorna Ramsay. I'm from Aberdeen in Scotland. I have lived in Houston for 10 years. I had no intention of going into real estate or back to work, but 3 years ago when my children went to college, I entered into this incredible, busy life of the international luxury specialist that I have become over 3 years. I was Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Region, and I got an international award. And I have closed the most transactions in the Keller Williams Metropolitan Office in 2011 and 2012. I have clients all over the world. They're in UK, they're in Saudi Arabia, they're in Singapore, you name it. I have clients who own properties in Houston and I've listed them out here, or they're coming from all over the world into the oil and gas market.
And, you know, one of the things I would be remiss to say, you know, today is the international show, as we've talked about, right? Today is the international show. We're bringing on individuals who are doing international real estate. What are people attracted to in Houston? You mentioned you have a lot of individuals from all over the world. What's the Houston attraction?
So between March 2012 and March 2013, 110,000 people came into Houston for work. So the whole oil and gas, the medical field, it's just incredible. The opportunities you have in Houston. I came for 2 years, and 10 years later, I'm still here.
I did the same thing, and that was in 1975.
So it's got wonderful, international schools. If you're British, like I am, you can still go to British school here and transfer back in 2 or 3 years' time. You have OT International School, you've got Village School, you've got lots of wonderful public schools out in the Katy area. Lots of oil and gas live, and work on the energy corridor. There's just so much wonderful shopping. You can fly to so many places in the world, not only from International Airport, but also with the small hobby airport. You can be in Mexico in 2 hours, lie on the beach. It's just a fabulous place to live.
And, you're right. We're seeing, the one thing that Houston has always had is a very international community. It's one of the things I think, the United States is built upon being a melting pot, and you will never see a bigger melting pot than Houston. And as you mentioned, that also goes with businesses. We have, as you mentioned, the energy corridor. We also have one of the top medical facilities in the Texas Medical Center in the world. And so, whether it be medical tourism, whether it be individuals looking to make an investment, et cetera. And that's what I wanted to get to as well is, from a real estate investment, how is that looking? What do they see from a real estate perspective, the investment into the United States?
Absolutely. Oil and gas, what's happening if you're working with big oil and gas, BP, Shell, Chevron, ConocoPhillips. When I came 10 years ago, many people were buying, but today it's company policy that a lot of people actually have to lease their properties. So they're on high-end leases. So we're talking $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 a month. They lease a property paid by their companies. So there's a huge investment market. I work with many investors just buying properties for that oil and gas clients so that they have a home to live in.
What area of town do you typically put these oil and gas people in? Is it in the Katy area or is it all over Houston?
It's all over, yes. I live in Midtown and I work right out to Katy. I don't do much in Sugarland, don't do much in Woodlands because it's too far. I can't do it all. But depending on your allowance, depending on the school needs, depending on the location of your offices, because there's obviously lots of oil and gas downtown. There's lots on the Energy Corridor, Westheimer. So it depends on where you live in. Park Grove is becoming a very growing area for oil and gas. And it just depends where you live in. You're trying to make that triangle as short as possible to give your commute as short as possible. ExxonMobil are about to open a huge new campus in the Woodlands, but many people don't want to live in the Woodlands. They'd rather go against the traffic, live downtown where you've got fantastic music, fantastic sport facility.
Good food, too.
And 7,000 restaurants in Houston. You'll not go hungry.
What are the things, Lorna, that you tell your clients from the international clientele? What are the things that you tell them to expect, those that have not been to Houston before or haven't been here a long time?
So everything's bigger in Texas.
We know that, absolutely.
So the houses are fabulous. They're much bigger. You get a lot of house for your money. So if you're coming from overseas, the European houses are much smaller. And when you're working with international people, they have no credit history, no social security number. They often only come into the Houston for a week. So I have to work very quickly, long hours, through many time zones often to accomplish what I need to do.
Yes, rumor has it, Lorna, that you don't sleep. Is that true?
I don't sleep.
I'll tell you what, I've known Lorna for a few years now, and she is one of the hardest working agents out there.
It's being brought up on a farm in the Highlands of Scotland.
Oh, is that right?
So this is a piece of cake
In
compared
the
to that,
Highlands
isn't
of
it?
Scotland, huh?
Absolutely.
You sure you're not from Missouri, right? Now?
Not from
Okay.
Not with this accent.
Now, one of the things I know that you probably have to talk with your clients about when they're coming in from another country is that there's some tax ramifications upon the sale of that property. I mean, tell us what kind of things that they face.
Yeah, and often if they're working with large companies, their company will actually help them with their tax. They're using Ernst Young, big companies, to help them with it. So
often they're
sorted.
they're aided and abetted
They're
by their
sorted.
company.
They're
That's a
sorted.
wonderful way to be. But I do know that they do have some different tax consequences. Even in our, 1 to 4, they talk about, are you a foreign national and you come in to buy it because you're going to get taxed.
And the other thing is that it's a myth that you need to build good credit history to buy a house. So actually there's products from Wells Fargo, from BBVA.
And Willabend Mortgage also.
Yes. And you can get foreign national programs. So it's very easy to get a mortgage when you do arrive. You don't have to live in the country for some time to get a mortgage.
And that's true.
Credit.
There are a lot of options out there. We see a lot of people from Canada, from Mexico, from other parts of Europe. And you're right, whether it be a foreign national loan, whether it be just a regular loan that we're doing right now with a lot of foreign nationals, because there's certain countries that we can actually go back and look at their credit history from those countries, Canada being one of them, for example, and get them just like they're a regular citizen of the United States type loan. So it's pretty interesting stuff out there.
Now, tell me, when they come here, and they probably have some pre-notion as to what Texas is all about, and what do they look for in a home? I mean, what are the specific items that they want?
Today it has to be modern. The gold world is disappearing. The 1980s, 1990 house, when they're looking for an investment home, they want something that's a bit more modern. Out of the gold, it's pewter and chrome finishes. You want granite surfaces. The closets are always amazed by the space that you have. And of course, here shopping is so excellent and so much choice that it's not hard to fill those closets.
And when they're here and they see the selection that you show them, what are they most excited about? Is there any one thing? Maybe there is, maybe there is. Are there some things that just stand out where they say, Lorna, I can't believe it?
The customer service in Houston is incredible. So if you're going to buy furniture, often coming from the UK, it can take you 6 to 8 months to get a piece of furniture. The service level in Houston is incredible. So to be able to go to a furniture shop, buy it today, it's delivered today, or even that week is just incredible. The service with fixing things, the contractors are always ready available. One home I did, the ceiling was on the floor, and by Wednesday, it was called on the Sunday, by Wednesday, it had a whole new ceiling. That would never, ever happen in the UK.
Wow.
You know, one question I was going to ask here is, you know, obviously doing the international show, one question I want to ask is, do you see a big difference between your international buyers and what they're looking for in a home versus what your maybe people who are already living up in the United States are looking for in a home?
Just they have to move very quickly when they're buying a home. They're coming over, so that the choice. HAR is a phenomenal website, so people are looking into HAR before they ever arrive in Houston, and they have quite a clear indication of what they really want. You have to obviously educate them in the different neighbourhoods, and it depends on the location of your office. It depends on the location of your school, or you know what your needs are. If you're a runner or a cyclist, or you know, Houston has got so much to offer.
Lorna, you mentioned you do something special on Wednesday. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have a fabulous group. It's called Wednesday Coffee. 6 weeks ago, I just opened a WednesdayCoffee.com website. It's got great information for expats moving into Houston, lots of international information. I also sell people's cars, their electric stuff, their all sorts, houses. The reason why I was so successful, I've helped people for 10 years, and every week I would be sending out emails by hand, and now I have this fabulous website, WednesdayCoffee.com.
Lorna, how can we reach you, and how can people out there reach you?
I'm on HAR, so www.har.com. Lorna Ramsay. My telephone number is 713-884-9678. Google Wednesday Coffee, Google Lorna Ramsay. I'll be there.
I'm actually on the Wednesday Coffee website
There
right
he
now.
is.
Very
All right.
neat.
Very neat.
Lorna, thank you very much. We sure do appreciate it. And a shout out to all the folks that are listening at the Metropolitan. I'm sure they're very proud of you.
And we're not excusing her.
Oh, we're
We
not?
want her to hang around
Oh,
because we know at the end of the show we might have some crosstalk.
That's right.
So you know, stick around, and we have some other questions for you.
That is correct. But, you know, right now we're up against a break, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.